And now our second guest for today is a young man who has a very famous name and who's beginning to make one of his own, Enrico Caruso Jr. Tell me, Enrico, do you find it difficult to follow in your father's octaves?
Well, yes, Maggie. At first it was. I sometimes find that when I sing, people don't listen to me. They listen for my father.
Yeah.
There was only one Caruso.
Well, there is that little matter, I suppose.
Yeah.
I now realize that no two people hear the same thing. For instance, after one performance, a critic said to me, "You have your father's top notes all right, but not his bottoms."
Oh.
Immediately afterward, another will congratulate me on my father's bottom notes, but will shake his head over the top notes. Then a third will console me with the fact that while I have neither my father's tops nor bottom notes, at least I do fairly well in the middle ones. So you see.
Yes, I see. It's absolutely hopeless. Well, but it isn't really, because those same critics are recognizing your talent in the popular field.
And by the way, Mr. Caruso, what would your father think of your going into the popular field rather than into opera?
Well, it's not really too different. When my father made his singing debut in Italy, the opera companies of those days corresponded to our popular forms of entertainment in this country. Now, every city, town, and hamlet in Italy had its own opera company. Hundreds of them existed. When my father started singing, it was the only form of popular entertainment. There were no nightclubs, no reviews, and no motion pictures.
So actually you are following in your father's footsteps, entering the popular field of music, huh? Tell me, was your father in favor of your becoming a singer, Enrico?
Yes and no.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, he was determined that his son was to follow a career that he had always dreamed of in his youth.
Oh, which was?
Naval engineering. Although very few people know it, my father was an engineer.
Oh.
Therefore, all of my education was slanted in that direction.
And when did you decide that singing and not engineering were for you?
I guess it was from the very beginning, Maggie. For years, I studied with Adolfo de la Huerta, one of the greatest living teachers of bel canto and a former president of Mexico. Now, I waited until he gave me the green signal, and that was this year.
Oh.
So I started singing professionally.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be thrilled to hear Enrico Caruso Jr. But say, by the way, where can we hear you sing?
Well, I just finished an engagement at the Roosevelt Hotel in New Orleans, and I expect to open a musical here this fall.
Oh, that'll be peachy.
You know, Maggie, I've been asked a lot of questions, but nobody has ever asked me what my greatest ambition is.
And what is it?
It's to play a comedy role in a Broadway musical.
Oh, wonderful. Well, maybe that's what you'll do this fall.
I hope so.
And say, before you leave for the program today, tell me this. Did your father have any special advice for you that we might pass on to our listeners?
Well, yes, he did, Maggie.
Oh, what was it?
Well, Father had 3 words which summed up the entire profession. Work, work, work.
Oh, I was afraid of that. Well, those words of Enrico Caruso are very true, and the words of Enrico Caruso Jr. were very welcome on this program. Thanks very much, Enrico Caruso Jr., for being our guest star today.
Questo quella per me pari sono a quant'altri intorno mi vedo, nel mio cuore l'impero non c'era, meglio l'una che tanta beltà, ma costoro apparenza e quel d'oro, che il fato nella fiora, la vita, di questa mi deve gradita, però sono altra, ma sono altra, romanzo sarà un'altra, ora sarà altra, romanzo sarà. Ma questa razza tirante dal cuore ne pensiamo, qual morro crudele, per chi vuole si servi parere, non la va morre, no, sarà me libertà, dei mariti il geloso furore, della malattia sbaglio e terrire, ancora la ragione, mi sento che mi sfido, se mi punge, una qualche beltà,